Hi Year 3, hope you're all okay on this Tuesday morning. So today we are going to be looking at column subtraction. Yesterday you were looking at column addition as a little revision of what we had done before Christmas. So today we're going to be reminding ourselves of our column subtraction. Before we do that though, we're going to try and get our heads into the maths zone and the maths way of thinking with things. We're going to have a look at a little starter together. We're going to do it together on here so I can show you how the game works. But if you want to afterwards, you can pause the video and then you can go and have a look at this link yourself and have a go. It's challenging yourself to see how you get on with the game. I'm going to show it to you first, though, just so you know how it works. It is one I really like because it gets us to think about numbers and number facts. And it really gets us to think about what we know about the numbers that we're working with. So it's called Guess the Number. And there are 3 different levels to this. Now you can choose whichever numbers that you feel more comfortable with. You might want to start off with the first level and then work your way up to the higher level. But we can see that the levels change by the numbers that we are working with. So we've got numbers within 10, which means numbers up to 10, numbers within 25, and then numbers within 100. I'm going to start with the middle one, just so you can get a feel for how it works and what it's about. Okay, so we have got our friendly little dog here, and our friendly little dog is thinking of a number. Now we have got to try and work out the number that the dog is thinking about. Now above him you can see there are some little thought clouds, and these are the clues to the number that he is actually thinking about in his head at the moment. And we've got to try and work out by revealing the thought bubbles one at a time as to what the number actually is. So let's see what our clue is. Well, this is a 2-digit number. So that helps us a little bit because we know it's a number with up to 25 because that was a level that we picked. So we know it can't be 1 or 2 or 3 or any of those single digit numbers. But it could be 10, 11, 12, 13, up to 25. Won't be 26 because that's out of the category that we're looking at the moment. So it's helped narrow us down a little bit, but we need a bit more help. So let's look on the next cloud here. So it rounds to 10. So that means that it's a lower number than what we were thinking of. So we said it could be 11 or 12 or 13 because they're 2-digit numbers. And we said it could go all the way up to 25, 24. We know it can't be that now because those sorts of numbers would round to 20 rather than 10. So it's helped narrow us down a little bit. If it's a 2-digit number and it rounds to 10, it's possibly going to be 11, could be 12, could be 13, could be 14, 15. Now, when we get to 15, so our one's number is a 5, we would round up to the next 10 number. So 5 is sort of our cutoff. Could go either way, but the rule is that we always round it up to the next 10 numbers. So I think we've narrowed it down now to 11, 12, 13 or 14. That would tick those boxes, but we've still got 4 numbers. We still need to know a bit more. Let's have a little look. It's an odd number. Okay, so 11, well, that's an odd number because it ends in 1. 12 can't be 12 because 12 is an even number, ends in 2, so that's not that one, so let's get rid of that one. 13, it could be 13 because 3 is an odd number. 14 can't be 14 because that's an even number. So I think now we're down to 2 numbers, 11 and 13. We've got 2 clues left. I think this next clue might hopefully tell us what the answer could be. Let's see. Oh, it's less than, well, both those numbers are less than 16. So that actually doesn't help us, that clue there, does it? So it's all dependent on this last one now because we're looking at 11 or 13. Both digits are the same. So it's a 2-digit number and both digits are the same. So 11 is a 1 and a 1. 13 is a 1 and a 3. They're not the same. So I'm thinking that the dog has the number 11 in his mind. Let's see. Yes, of course it is. There it is. So that's how the game works. That's how the challenge works. You can go through this on your own and see if you can work out what number the dog is thinking of. So remember, if you find that one all right, you might want to have another go at that level and then maybe try the next level up. If you think, oh, well, some of the clues on there I wasn't too sure about, you could maybe start with the numbers up to 10 to begin with and then just get a bit more confident. What I would do, if you're doing it fairly and the right way, is make sure you are doing, like we were just doing together there, one cloud at a time, one thought bubble at a time. Yes, you could click on all of them and reveal it and work it out straight away. But if you're thinking really step by step of those different possibilities, it's really getting you to think about all the different numbers and ruling each one of them out. Okay, so try and do it one at a time. And that is the way that you will get to practice your maths in the best way. And that's what we want you to do. So if you want to go and have a go at doing that now while it's sort of in your mind, then you can pause the video and then you can always come back to me later. Or if you would rather, you could always have a little go after you've done the work that we're going to do today. So up to you. So we're going to start now on the column subtraction. So yesterday we looked at some sums together and we talked about the method for working out our column addition. So we're going to start today, as we did yesterday, with another sum. So I'm going to start with two 3-digit numbers. So I'm going to go with 578 take away 252. Okay, so that's our takeaway sum that we're going to do. Now, I started off yesterday with an easy one. I think this is another easier one to start with. And some of you might have cottoned on as to why this is going to be an easier one to do by looking at the numbers that are in each of the columns there. If you haven't worked out why it's an easier one yet, don't worry, because you soon will. So let's get it set out as we know we should into our columns. So as yesterday, a lot of overlap with what we did yesterday here. I'm going to put my hundreds, tens and ones just to remind me of where my columns are. Again, you don't have to do that if you don't want to, but if it helps you, then please do. So we have got our biggest number. Always, 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 when we're doing taking away, the biggest number goes first because we're taking something away from it. So we have to start with the biggest number. In adding, we normally start with the bigger number first because it just makes our life easier. We don't have to. We know we can do it in any order when we're adding, but take away, we need to have the biggest number first. So 578. Take away, remind myself I'm taking away today. We're not adding today, year 3, we are taking away. So look, there's my reminder. And we're going to take away 252 from there. So draw my equal sign. Now, if you hadn't worked out why this was going to be an easier sum, you might now that you've seen it set out like this. But let's work through it and see. So I'm going to start working through it. Which column am I going to start with first? Which column did we start with yesterday? Absolutely, it's a ones column, isn't it? We're going to start with our ones column first of all. So I've got 8, and from my 8, I am taking away 2. That's perfectly fine. I've got 8, and I'm going to take away 2. So that leaves me with 6 altogether. 5 and the 1 is my 6. So in my ones column, I have got 6 left. Okay. So in my tens column, I've got 7 tens, and from my 7 tens, I'm going to take away 5 tens. So there's my 7 tens, and I'm taking away 5 tens. So there's my 2 tens left. So I'm going to write 2. So I know that's 2 tens, which is 20, because it's in my tens column. Okay, but I've got the number 2 down. 7 take away the 5 tens is the 2 tens. And then in the same way, 5 hundreds take away 2 hundreds. There's my 5 hundreds, and I'm taking away my 2 hundreds. That gives me my 3 hundreds left. So my answer to that question today, 578 take away 252, is 326. Okay, 326. Just move the board there. You can just about manage to fit it on. 326. Easy. Easy because all of the numbers meant that I was able to take away from my start number here without any problems. It all worked beautifully. Took it away, got my final answer. Perfect. But as we know, that doesn't always happen. So let's have a look at when that doesn't happen and what we have to do. I'm sure, fingers crossed, you can remember. So let's have a look at 452, and from that I am going to take away 128. Okay, 128. So columns first. Hundreds, tens, ones. Biggest number must go first because we always take away from the biggest number. 452. Take away 128. Equal sign. Okay, so column we're going to start with first of all is, remember, the ones column. The ones column is first of all. And now in my ones column, I have got 2, and it is asking me to take away 8 from the 2 that I have. Hope you're saying, Mrs. Davis, you can't do that. You're quite right. So there's my 2. I can't take 8 away from there. I don't have enough. This is not possible. So what do we have to do if I can't take my 8 away from my 2? What do I need to do? Well done, year 3. What we're going to do is we are going to go and visit next door. So next door neighbours, always very helpful. So we're going to go into my next door neighbour column, which is my 5 tens that I've got here. Now, I'm going to need to pinch one of those 10s from there. So I wonder who can remember what we do to show that I am pinching one of those 10s from there. All right, year 3, you're on it today. I'm very impressed. So what we have to do is we have to cross that 5 out there, and we're going to take 1 10 away from there. So that means in my 10s column, I am going to have 4 10s left now. I've got 4 10s left. And that 1 10 that I am pinching, I am going to take it over there into my ones column, because that's where I need it. This is where I need help in my ones column. So I've now taken my 1 10 to join my 2 1s in my ones column. So that means that I now have in this column here 12, because I had 1 10, it's now become my 10 1s, plus my 2 1s are already there. So I've got my 12 1s, and from that I'm going to take away 8. That sounds better. 12 take away 8. So I've got 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. 4. So 12 take away 8 is 4. Drop my pen lid on the floor there, never mind. Okay, so that works. That taking that from there meant that I was able to answer that question without any problems. I've now got 4 take away 2. I've got 4 10s, my 10s column, take away my 2. Now there's my 4, take away 2. That works. I can do that. That leaves me with 2 10s. I'll put my 2 10s in there. Hundreds column, I've got 4 hundreds, and I'm going to take away my 100. That's going to leave me with 300. So my answer for this one here now is 324. So remember, we've got to keep checking, can I take away the number from the one I'm starting with. Think about it. Use your fingers if you need to. Use your ruler if you need to check where the numbers are. Think, is it possible? We can't flick them around and just make it work for us. We have to follow it step by step. So keep thinking, because sometimes some of the questions that you need to come across, you will need to go next door and pinch a number from there. Sometimes you won't need to. I didn't need to on every single one there. Okay, but sometimes we might need to. So let's have a look at another one together, just to make sure we are happy with how we do it. My pieces of paper are stuck together, which is not very helpful. So I'm going to turn over 2 pieces of paper in a minute. Oh my goodness, there we go. Right, thank you for being patient with me. I don't want to waste any paper. I'm wasting enough paper as it is. So let's have a look at the next sum. So we have got, I'm going to make this one a little bit trickier now. Watch out, see if you can see what's going to happen. So I'm going to go with 608. And from 608, I'm going to take away 246. Okay, 608 take away 246. So hundreds, tens, ones, if we need to. Bigger number goes first, 608. And from that, I'm going to take away 246. So, equal sign. Always be looking at the numbers. See if you can be one step ahead of me, year 3. See if you can work out what's going to be happening with this sum now. So, always the ones column we're going to start with. 8 take away 6. Can I do that? 8. There's my 8. And I'm going to take away 6. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got 2 left. I can do that. Didn't need to go next door. That was fine. It won't always be the case that you have to do that. This is why we've got to keep looking at the numbers to see. Then in my tens column, I haven't got any tens. Got 0, take away 4. Now, what are you thinking, you 3? 0, take away 4. Hopefully, you're not thinking, that's 4, Mrs. Davis. Hopefully, you're not thinking that, because remember, if we've got nothing, I can't take anything away. There's nothing there for me to take anything away from. So this is the moment where I've got to go next door again. So at the moment, I've got 600s in there, but I need help in my tens over here. So I'm going to cross, remember, that 6 out, because when I've taken one of the hundreds away, I'm going to only be left with 5. So there's my 5 in my hundreds column now. Now that 100 is going to come over here now to give me my 10 tens. Because remember, 100 is made up of 10 tens. So there now I have 10 tens. So I didn't have any tens to begin with, but now I've taken that 100, I've now got 10 tens. So 10 take away my 4 tens. So 10 take away 4 is going to give me 6. Well done if you got that right. So let me stick with my green colour. 10 take away 4 is my 6. And then my 500 here, take away my 2 is 3. So my answer is 362 for that particular question there. So we'll do one more before we leave it today. Let's see if I can turn this piece of paper over a bit better this time. That was a bit better. So one more, because you might have a bit of a challenge on your hands today. You may get something like this. We may have a number 524 take away 146. Again, always try and keep one step ahead. Try and think, why is that going to be more difficult, Mrs. Davis? Look at the numbers, keep thinking. So do this bit now because we know this. I've got my hundreds, I've got my tens, I've got my ones. I'm going to start off with my bigger number first because it's a takeaway. There's my takeaway, 146. I wonder if you're still ahead of me, guys. So in my ones column, which is where we start, remember, I have got 4, take away 6. I've got 4, take away 6. Can I do that? No, I can't. I haven't got enough fingers here to be able to take away 6 from. So where do I go? I go next door. I go into my tens column. At the moment, I've got 2 in my tens column, but I'm going to pinch 1 from there, which leaves me then with 1 tens left, or 1 10 left. So that 1 10 that I have just taken away, I'm now going to bring into my ones column there. I did have 4, which wasn't enough. So I brought a 10 over to change into 10 ones. So this now means this is 14. I've got 14 take away 6. So 14 take away 6, so 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Take away 6, I end up with 8. So perfect. That meant I could do that. Let's go back to my tens column now. So now my tens column is just saying I've got 1 take away 4. 1 take away 4. Can I do that? Can't, can I? Can't not take 4 away from that. I don't have enough. So I've got to go next door again. So this time I'm having to pinch twice from my next door neighbour. So we're going to go over into my 500s that I've got here. I'm going to cross that out because I'm going to take one of those hundreds away, which means I'm going to be left with 4 hundreds in there, 4 hundreds. And then that 100, I'm going to swap that into 10 tens. So that is now going to mean that I have got 11 tens altogether. So I've got 11 here. I had 1 10 and I've just added 10 tens to it by taking the 100 away. So this is 11 tens, take away 4 tens. 11, take away 4. 10, 9, 8, 7. 7. So I've got 7 tens left. In my hundreds column, I've got 4, take away 1, which is going to leave me with 3. So my answer for this one is 378. So I've looked at, with you there, a few different combinations of things that you might come across today. What you've got to keep looking at are the numbers that are in the sum and keep asking, can I actually do that? Because that's where some of you make your mistakes sometimes. You don't think, can I do 2 take away 4? Some of you think, oh yeah, I can, that's going to be 2. But we've got to make sure that we are doing it the right way round. So if I've got 2, I can't take 4 away from there. I have to go next door and ask for a bit of help and bring it over. So keep looking at the numbers really carefully and remember that process of going next door and bringing it back over to where you need your help. The questions today, they pretty much look like the ones that you had yesterday, but of course, remember today is taking away. So you will get in your folder today something that looks a little bit like the sheet that you can see in front of you there. Again, depending on which group you're in, yours might look a little bit different, but you have got your takeaway questions there. Now, again, I'm going to say the same as I said to you yesterday, that yes, you can write the answers on the sheet there, but it is good practice to think about setting them out. So what I would rather you do, if you possibly can, is in your maths book on squared paper, is to actually write the sum out. And especially I think today when we're crossing numbers out, it's going to be easier for you to do it on squared paper than it will be on the worksheet, okay, because it might get a little bit squashed. But on square paper, it just gives you a bit more space to be working with. And of course, it's all to do with helping you make sure that you're lining things up properly as well, which is really important when we're using our column addition and subtraction. So the sheets are there in today's folder, just like there was yesterday as well. At the end of the sheet, there will be a couple of extra challenge questions for you to do. So again, have a go, see how you get on. You know, once you've had a practice of this method here, then you might be ready for the challenge question at the bottom. So have a good day with your column subtraction. I'm going to say again, remember it's subtraction today, not addition. Subtraction, 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 taking away. And then tomorrow, we're going to look at a little good practice that is really useful for when we are adding and taking away. So it's a little checking system really that we're going to have a look at, but I'll talk to you more about that tomorrow, okay, when we meet again. So have a good day today, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Take care. Bye.